I'm way out in the back of my landscape today, and I want to take a few moments to show you this great plant. This is a loquat. Japanese plum, Chinese plum, Japanese medlar, and other common names. Hi, it's Elise. I'm glad you stopped by. Loquat. Fantastic plant, often overlooked, but this is a great plant to put in an edible landscape, a survivalist garden, sustainable garden. If you want something for your wildlife, something for your pollinators, consider the loquat. It is considered a tropical plant, but records have it growing up into zone 7 in the U.S. Now, probably won't produce fruit in that cold of area, but some people grow it just for the foliage and the blossoms. And look how big this plant or tree is. It's about 15-20 feet tall, and they can get 20 to 30 feet tall and as big around, so leave room if you can. This is in my wildlife garden, or my wildlife row. It's a row of all different kind of plants I put in for the wildlife. The red blossom that you see is the red powder puff. We'll talk about that later. It's also another great pollinator plant. Now, one really nice thing about this plant is it produces the flowers in the fall and early winter, which is a little different than most fruit trees. Then it overwinters. Early spring, you can get ripe fruit. This gives your pollinators a late source of food. It gives your wildlife and you an early source of food coming out of winter. Really nice. I'm going to zoom in on this blossom. Starts off with this great big white blossom head. The bees love it. It's just wrapped up with bees. After that dries off, it's going to turn brown. It's going to look almost like velvet. Get a little closer here. Pull this down to show you. And it's already setting the little fruits. Now, they won't get ripe yet. They won't get ripe until early spring. For us in 9B, that might be end of February, first part of March. It's native to China. Records have it growing there for over 1,000 years. From there it went to Japan, and from Japan then it spread across the world anywhere that they had the planting zone to support it. Lots of great uses for this plant. I was amazed. Okay, growing conditions, full sun, give it lots of room, 20, 30 feet high. It can get spread that large also. Medium water. It doesn't like really wet, soggy feet. Disease resistant, pest resistant. Once it's established, it's drought resistant. It will freeze if you get really cold weather. Sometimes it will come back if your freeze isn't too bad or if it's not of any great duration. Easy to grow though. And I have read that you can get a dwarf variety, put it in containers, overwinter it. I don't know, I'm not sure. Now, the folks who grow it in colder conditions just for the foliage and the blossoms, it's not very likely that they'll ever get fruit. But look at this gorgeous foliage. I mean, it's really, really nice. Let's talk about some benefits. Edible for us and the animals. Has medicinal properties. Please do your research. The foliage can be used as fodder for your animals. The fruit can feed your animals. The leaves can be used as chop and drop, made into fertilizer for your landscape. The scent is extracted and used in the perfume and cosmetic industry. It's a very nutritious plant. You can make tea out of the leaves for human consumption. Now, any edible and medicinal properties, please do your own research. And of course, it's a beautiful ornamental tree. Provides shade, nesting areas, habitats, hiding areas, and helps to oxygenate the air, which we need. The wood can be used to build with. You can use it for firewood, for kindling. You put it in your smokers and your grills to smoke your meat. And this is a really pretty tree. Now, I haven't really trimmed this any. With age, some of the smaller limbs will fall off. It does have a high canopy, and it can round out and make a beautiful tree. But you can keep it trimmed off. Now, this was a gift. I didn't have any loquats. I walked way down at the end of my landscape and I found a little seedling that I guess either a bird or a squirrel got a piece of fruit from somewhere and dropped the seed. The seedling germinated. I picked it up, I brought it up and planted it. I started getting fruit in about 3.5 years. 3.5 to 4 years, a small amount of fruit. The common time for fruiting is anywhere from 2 to 10 years, which is a really large spread. So the average is about 4 to 6. Depending upon the variety and how well you take care of it, you can get fruit as early as 3 or 4 years. Maybe not a huge amount, but you can get some fruit. And I am really thankful for the bird or the squirrel or whatever animal it was that gave me the seedling. All right, not all of the loquats are equal. There's about 500 or more varieties. If you've tried loquat and you really didn't care for it, you might give it another try. Might try a different variety. Really neat. Uses: you can cook with it, jams, jellies, pies, cakes, chutneys, sauces, stir fries. You can dry it like the early Indians and settlers did. They would dry the fruit and use it as a food source over the winter when other food was scarce. It is a very nutritious food. It's called a superfood because it does have lots of nutrients. So they would dry the fruit, and you know, when you dry fruit, it condenses the carbs, it condenses the sugars, and it would give them a nice product to eat. But any cooking device that you would normally use fruit with, you can use this. Now, I like my fruit ripe, and this particular variety produces a round fruit, and to me it tastes like, oh, I don't know, orange, banana, mango with a shot of honey in it. Really good. I like mine to be really ripe, so I let it stay on the tree till it gets orange. And then I just plop it off. I'll wipe it off a little bit on my shirt. Sometimes they have just a little bit of fuzz on them. I pop it in my mouth. You eat the skin and everything. Don't eat the seeds. So, you know, just swirl it around in your mouth. You suck off the juice, you suck out all the soft flesh. You can eat the skin and spit the seeds out. You can have anywhere from 2, 6, 8 seeds per fruit, but don't eat the seeds. Really nice. Good source of food for everybody. All right. Propagation. Seeds, of course. And you will hear folks say, well, don't bother because it won't come true. Well, they are correct halfway. It won't come true. But you know what? It might be better. I mean, this was a fantastic, fantastic tree from seed. I couldn't have paid $1,000 and got another tree that tasted as good as this fruit. You might get something that's kind of equal, and you might get something that's worse. If you don't like the taste of your fruit, if you have access to a better tasting fruit, you can always try grafting. Everything I have read says, especially for tropical citrus fruits, things like that, a seedling is actually tougher and more resistant than a grafted or an air layered or a cutting plant. So grow it anyway. All right, air layering, cuttings. I haven't had too much luck with cuttings, but I'm going to try again. And of course, grafting. But beautiful, beautiful foliage. The fruit's fantastic. Great for the wildlife, pollinators, and for us. What else could you ask for? Easy to grow. Low maintenance. Let's see, have I basically covered everything? Now, I do hope to come out after it finishes fruiting this year and do a really heavy pruning on this tree. We really haven't pruned it in quite a while. Sometimes we prune some of the edges off so it doesn't go out into the walkway a long ways. But really pretty. And it doesn't look like it would be that difficult to prune back. It does have an open canopy. I'll back up so you can see really how big it is. I wish I could reach some of these. Look at the size already of those little fruits. But just absolutely full of blossoms. There's going to be enough fruit for me and for all of the animals around. This year, I'm going to try and dry some. I think that would be neat. All right, check it out, folks. See if this is something that you can put into your landscape. It would be a great addition. Till we speak again, have a fantastic day.